Today, when we think about candles, we probably think like 100% beeswax candles or Bath & Body Works fragranced soy wax candles. There is another option though, a very, very old-fashioned option. Tallow candles have been around for thousands of years, and this utilizes a very abundant and available natural resource for people who are raising their own livestock or hunting or scavenging at a butcher shop. You can take tallow, render it down, and turn it into a really wonderful light source. It is not quite as clean and long-lasting as beeswax, but it is a lot more affordable, and after using these for several months, I think quite comparable. I'm gonna show you how I made this candle right here. Supply-wise, all you need to make your own tallow candles is tallow, some wicks, and a jar to put your candles in. Wicks, there are a lot of options, but I would say kind of the best, easiest, most practical option is to buy a braided cotton or hemp wick because they are very accessible, easy to find, pretty affordable, and they really do just kind of work the best. They are self-trimming, they burn pretty clean, they are the #1 wick method for a reason. I have experimented quite a bit with using alternative wicks. I found a fun thing on Pinterest and a blog article, and I thought it was super neat. And so I started trying some of those alternative wicks, and I did not have any luck really, very marginal luck. So if you have made your own wicks out of alternative things and it has worked well, please tell me in the comments. I would love to keep experimenting with alternative wicks. The best one that I tried was a wooden wick, and I just took a really, really thin piece of wood, soaked it in oil, and used it as my wick. And it burned for about 4 hours with babysitting. I had to keep dumping out a little bit of the tallow as it started to smother itself. So it would work in a pinch, but it wasn't great. The braided cotton or hemp wicks just work super phenomenally. The one thing that I have really noticed about the tallow candles is you have to be wary of tunneling. That's where the outside is not actually being consumed, so you end up with these tall walls and this tunnel down burning around your wick. So get pretty thick wicks if you can, or double up. If you get just a big ball of like twine kind of wick, you can twist 2 together, or you can do multiple wicks per jar. So if you're going to do a jar, say this size, I would actually put 3 wicks in here to get my tallow to burn a little bit more evenly. Your wicks might come with something like this or this. And these are both handy but not essential. This helps to hold your wick in the center of your jar while it is setting up and firming so that you have a nice straight wick. And this is really only applicable if you have stickers on the base of your wick. It helps to stick it to the bottom of the jar, again, so that it's centered. We'll talk a little bit more about some other options for these down the road, but just know you do not have to have these tools. Step 1, we are going to melt our tallow, and I like to do that just right in the jar. So I'm gonna stick that over here in a pot of water and kind of do a little double broiler method to let that melt. While our tallow is melting, we can get the wicks prepped into whatever containers you're gonna be using. Mason jars are great because they are very high heat resistant, so there's not a lot of chance of them cracking when you're making candles. I also have these really cute candle sconces. That's what I'm gonna be filling up today. So my wicks have these little stickers on the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and install them. If your wicks do not have stickers on the bottom, that is a-okay. Just get them centered the best you can. And these don't stand up on their own, which is why I have some extra little jars to help me get them stood up. So we've got the wicks in the jar, but we need to keep them from flopping over like this. We need them to stay nice and straight while the tallow is solidifying. So this is what this tool is for. You slip the wick into the middle there and it just really nicely holds it straight up and down for you. The other thing you can do is take 2 pencils, pens, whatever you have, and a rubber band, and tie those together, and you can use that to slip over your wick and hold it. So we've got our jars all set up and ready to go, and our tallow is all the way melted, so all that we need to do now is grab that and pour it in. I'm only filling mine to here because they flare at the top, and I learned the first time that I filled these up that I would need to have multiple wicks to really be able to burn through that wider portion. So now I just fill them up to here, and I haven't had a big problem with tunneling, keeping them only filled to that point. So now we just let them solidify. We let this cool down. Once it's completely solid, we can trim the wicks and they're ready to go. It's taken about an hour for these to re-solidify, and now all we need to do is get these wicks detached and trimmed. Now you might see some uneven spots on the top there. That's totally fine, and that's gonna even out after you start to get it burning. So you wanna leave about 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch wick. I think slightly longer than 1/4 inch has ended up being the sweet spot for me. Yes, I probably need new scissors, I know. So these are ready to be lit and enjoyed anytime. These have a really good burn time. I think they're really comparable to any other candle that is on the market. Like this one burned for about 4 or 5 hours the other day, and I feel like it's hardly made a dent. These do burn for a really long time. And if you're hunting or harvesting your own animals, you probably have a really abundant source of tallow that you could be making your own candlelight with. These are ready to be used just like any other candle. I would say let them burn for at least an hour or 2 every time you light them to help avoid that tunneling problem. But other than that, there are no special considerations here. Blow them out or snuff them just like normal and enjoy your tallow light. This is part 5 in my whole lamb harvest series. We did the harvest day, how to cure your own shelf-stable lamb bacon, how to render tallow, and then how to use that tallow to make soap. and today, how to turn that tallow into candles. You definitely want to check those out. I'll put a link again right up here or in this video's description. I hope you guys enjoyed our video today. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. If you enjoy all of these old-fashioned skills and healthy living cooking from scratch, consider subscribing to my channel and turning on that notification bell so that you never miss a thing. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you next time.